Exchange. He's also a former Downing Street special advisor who worked on the project while Boris Johnson was Prime Minister. Joins me now. Andrew, I think a lot of people will be thinking that HS2 is just a catastrophically expensive mistake. Your views?
Yes, I think it's the biggest infrastructure mistake Britain's done in at least 50 years, probably more. It's enormously expensive. It's taking vast sums of money out of better projects that really could level up the country. Little things like buses and local rail and local road schemes, the services that people actually use right now and that are in a mess right now. And instead, we're building this shiny new project that will be mainly of use to businessmen whose journeys between London and Manchester and London and Birmingham are perfectly fast and perfectly capacious already. Those aren't the services we need to fix.
And one of the key areas of it was supposed to reduce the brain drain from various different northern and Midlands towns to London. It gives people an excuse to go the other way, which obviously is utter tosh, because what it really means is that people in Birmingham, Manchester and places up north can now jettison themselves to London a lot quicker, receive a higher wage, and then maybe take that back and live back up north. But it's not really going to do anything for business up north, is it?
Well, look, it calls itself Britain's foremost transport levelling up project, but actually, again, buried in the documents we've been through is a little table that says that 43% of the benefits, in other words, almost half the benefits, will go to London and the South East. Right. So its effect on levelling up will be little better than neutral. And as I say, there's all sorts of things you could spend the money on that would do a better job on levelling up. What the North and the Midlands need, well, they haven't got by comparison with London, is decent local services. They haven't got. It's very hard to cross the North and the Midlands by train. The train services are frequent, they're slow, they're unreliable. What the South East has got is a good network of dense, frequent, electrified trains, and that's what the North and the Midlands need. Not a better service to London. That's the one good service they've already got.
Why are we so rubbish at this kind of stuff? You go to Japan, for example. I mean, the toilets there have got more technology than HS2, for goodness sake. They've got the bullet train, they've got all of this stuff, and here we are spending billions and billions and billions of pounds in taxpayers' cash for a project that by the time it emerges will probably already be out of date.
Japan is really long and thin, right? It's 800 miles long, and all the development is sort of spread along a coastal strip. So high-speed rail kind of works there. It's really long distances. It's very dense. Britain, all the main cities of England, apart from Newcastle, are all within 200 miles of each other. And the time saving you get isn't worth the money you're spending. And it's enormous amounts of money. The other problem about high-speed rail in Britain is just incredibly expensive. Because it's a densely populated country, because you have to dig lots of tunnels and do lots of consultation, and everything takes a long time. It's just much more expensive to build high-speed rail in Britain than it is in almost any other country in the world.
But what about all those people who've been under compulsory purchase orders? So people around the Manchester area, for example, a big warehouse area, people owned those warehouses and might have had a fully functioning business in them. Maybe they were looking to sell them to help fund their retirement or something like that. And then all of a sudden there's a compulsory purchase order looming on it. They sell it for a knockdown price and it turns out HS2's naff after all. People in houses as well, potentially having to move out of there. And people who are concerned about land with a rare species of newt on it or something, that this thing's now going to barge all the way through. I mean, the damage has been done, hasn't it?
Well, no, actually what we're saying in our report is, yes, it's too late to stop the first bit, phase one, which is London to Birmingham in the West Midlands. That's underway. As you say, the construction's happening. But the northern bits, north of Birmingham, construction hasn't started there yet. So you could still save 45 billion pounds.
Say that again, sorry. So that would save what? If we stopped it dead after phase one, what would that save us, do you reckon?
I reckon £44 billion at least. That's on the official prices, and actually the actual price is going to be much higher than that. So
right. So
44.
So I've just spoken quite extensively, and will continue to do so in the next hour, about tax rises and public spending cuts to fill an economic black hole. I mean, potentially we could budget for not spending £44 billion on this railway vanity project.
Yeah, it's not a magic answer to all cuts and austerity right now, okay, because it's a lot of money, but it's spread over 20 years. But you can start saving quite significant sums in a few years' time. You can start saving meaningful sums now, several £100 million this year, so a bit more next year. Then you up to about £3 billion of savings by 27, 28, and maybe £7 billion a year peak savings. As I say, about 45 billion in total. It's not small change. This thing, it's enormously expensive.
No. Great, look, great to have you on. I really enjoyed that. I'll have to get you back on very, very soon. Actually, thank you very much, Andrew Gilligan there, who authored this particular paper. Pretty damning when it came to HS2's benefits or lack of. He's a senior research fellow at Policy Exchange and a former Downing Street special advisor.